here I am, as a human being. How can I express myself totally and completely? Now, that way, you won't create a style, because style is a crystallization, I mean, that way, it's a process of continuing growth.
Welcome back. Taoist Master San Quinn here. Looks like we're having another dose of Bruce Lee's definition. Soon after I completed the last interaction that I had with Bruce Lee, he was reiterating that he wanted me to expand on the understanding of this family curse that we speak of, his integrated relationship with these energies that ultimately were responsible for ending his very short life. Now, let's make it very clear. I want you to understand this very careful, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. When we're talking about the spirit realm, we're talking about anything that is related to 5D reality. That entry point has everything to do with your belief system, understanding how to access that, making things pliable within this 3D reality takes a level of consciousness. Consciousness per se is just being more aware in general, but understanding the parallels between the dimensions and your consciousness, leveling up your consciousness, having a greater understanding and awareness, and being able to alter things, bend reality, as Albert Einstein would say, you must shift into that fifth dimension for that to be realized. So when you're in this 3D reality, for example, me being a catalyst and conduit to energies, as I am a prolific channeler and is one of my incredibly well-taught skills to refine my mastery as a Taoist master, a Taoist priest within this reincarnation, this lifetime, I have a tremendous understanding of channeling and what it takes to acquire that shift of consciousness, and in turn accessing information, light, information, energy from any angle, any space, any being, any spirit. So let's get back to Bruce. Bruce, per se, wanted to talk more about this curse that he was wrapped up in, and moreover, the understanding how that trickled down into what some people have defined as a family curse. He absolutely sees it that way. His realization was his non-compliance with these energies that he operated with. And so you generally have this link, right? So understand this, know this to be true. When you're dealing with spirit energies and you are in a situation where you have created this contract that we speak on in the previous video, you have created this contract due to the inner workings and understanding of your realization, your truth, your acceptance, because this is all a construct of your reality. You bring in and out these energies, these spirits, these frequencies, these vibrations. It all starts with your belief system. Understand this, know this to be true. So he was very steeped in superstition and the belief that karma was, the karmic rippling effect was very real. Karma in of itself is a construct of your reality, a construct of your truth, what you perceive, how you see your reality. So when you're dealing with these energies, they are feeding on the wave, stroke, matter and particle that you are creating with your very imagination, your interaction as the field within this space, this 3D reality. You are creating everywhere your mind goes, everywhere your eyes go. You are challenging that wave with imagination, with a thought, with a feeling, with an emotion that ripples out into a manifestation that is realized in matter and particle form, taking wave to matter to particle. Always remember that. So Bruce was very aware of his interaction. He had made somewhat of a contract for this internal power that he possessed. Now, as I've referenced before, if he was to take a little bit of a further journey into his understanding of how to connect with the universe and how to use the ebb and flow, the flow of the universe, he could have attained these internal skills, these masteries that he possessed without having to make any contract whatsoever. So now he wants me to talk to you about the curse in of itself. Now that's the more sobering, the more startling in an understanding of what that really means. Now, from an Asian culture, from an Eastern culture, superstition is steeped into every thought, every movement, every action. And so it's a fundamental part of the culture is the superstitious component, and realizing there are a tremendous amount of spirits and energies that they work with. I mean, within the culture itself, you can have the longevity god, the fertility god, the money god. It ripples out into your own construct, what you believe to be your truth. And that is very evident in the culture itself. So for him, the gateway and entry to these energies, using it as a contract and understanding his, wanting to become famous, to become well known, this entertainer, this martial artist. Now, in retrospect, looking at it from this perspective, he obtained all those goals. Unfortunately, he wasn't physically in this realm to realize it, and that was part of the lack of completion on his part to give the energies what they want. Now, these energies they operate like a siphon. And so there's two types of energies. There's a male and female energy. One is an incubus, one is a succubus. Funnily enough, you would assume the succubus was the female and the incubus was the male. Well, it was the complete opposite. So when you're dealing with these low vibrational energies, they feed off the jing, the constitution of the individual and collectively. So the more they can link with others, the more energy source they can create. So for Bruce, it was a matter of part of the contract was quite simple. You give us the masses, we feed from the masses, we continue your realized gains within this 3D reality by obtaining the fame, the fortune, the good luck. But with that comes a price. If you fail that, you fail with mortality. Now, that's a very sobering thing in of itself now, isn't it? The idea of mortality, and that mortality was realized. Now, the interlinking of that, and I've explained this before, understanding the generational rippling effects that take place on anybody's action. Anyone right now is operating on 18, 27, 36 generations before this present moment, is how you are perceiving your reality, and it is having tremendous effects on your gene expression and your very essence and being right here, right now. So in the case of Bruce, he was working on past generational curses that led to his realization in this realm. Now, everything that he shares with me, what I can see, it's going back almost 8 or 10 generations leading up to this one right here. So, and with that, if you fail the contract, it's the eradication or the erasing of your very seed and essence within this space. Now that ripples into another generation, and or moreover, the idea that guess what? You will be null and void. So there were two things that took place. The lack of commitment, because he refused to use his platform as a vehicle to, i.e., for example, give these energies their ability to suck from the audience, feed from the audience. And, it just migrates and grows second to second, minute to minute. His will not to comply was a beautiful thing. It was a heroic thing. It was a courageous thing in every sense of the word, knowing that he is ultimately going to pay with his life. That was the price that he had to pay. That was the gamble that he took. In most cases, what happens is when people operate knowing that they're working on their belief system, there's this sort of like, no, it's not going to happen. Yet in your mindset, deep within your unconscious, you are operating with this exact belief system. So knowing that most people operate and say, I'm virtuous, which is the complete opposite. In his case, the understanding that basically he was in great fear of the consequence, and in turn that rippled out into his very reality. So reiterating that over and over again, and then that trickled down to his son. Now people go, well, Sifu, what about his daughter? That doesn't make any sense, because that is not the original seed of the replicating DNA. And so for the entity, that is more than enough. So there was half of the contract that met, the other half was not met. So they in turn used the contract to give him what he asked for, but also take from him what he feared the most. And so here are the rippling effects and the ramifications of his belief system. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen and ladies. All this comes from his belief system. Nothing more, nothing less. This has nothing to do with anyone else but him. That realization comes to fruition. And this is very much leaning on the mechanics and understanding of the universe. Moreover, when you take a deeper look, when you are dealing with these vibrational energies, lower or higher, your reality is completely hinged on that. So, in essence, Bruce wanted people to understand. He refused to comply, and his lack of compliance resulted in a fatal mortality. Now, what do you learn from this? Well, the basic understanding and learning from this particular video and the direction and basically education that Bruce is giving us is your truth is the only truth, and your belief system is basically the inner workings and architecture of your reality. So you move past this simplicity of duality, and you're going to have a greater sense of awareness. And that kind of operates more in that 5D. Because people get stuck. They get very stuck. They want the superhuman effects of bending reality in a 5D, but then they keep their one foot in the 3D, knowing that that's an illusion. And in every sense of the word, when you understand the mechanics of the universe, it's nothing more than a hologram. Yeah, mic drop. So Bruce wanted to thank everyone for listening, and he felt like he really got this message out quite clearly this time, and that curse, of course, will not ripple over into any other parts of Bruce's lineage or history. It stops with him, which is another incredible sacrifice that he makes. So his particular generation, that's where it stops. So any further replication of his very essence will not be affected by this particular contract, as it's been fulfilled due to the limitations of his mortality. And so the curse was real. It had rippling effects. It was everything to do with hinged on his belief system, his understanding, his knowing that he lived in a duality, his knowing that he was very fearful, his knowing that he believed in something that wasn't of a higher vibration. So sobering, so realized, so powerful. So we got that, slam dunked that. I made it very clear. I want to thank Bruce. Thank you, Bruce, for reiterating that, taking it to a much deeper level of realization and getting people to understand the construct of how these things take place. And everything has to do with you. This has all got to do with you and what you believe, no one else. People need to remember that, and they need to realize that. They need to accept that. Your truth is the only truth that you need to be concerned with. So, I want to thank Bruce. I want to thank Latsu, the three pure ones, and I'm your humble servant and Sifu, Taoist Master San Quinn, and I want to thank you for your time. And if you like this video, please subscribe and comment down below. And I look forward to seeing you soon, my friends.